Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the Postal Rescue Nation, brought to you by XCancer. Check them out at XCancer.com. Happy Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday the entire year. You got food, you got football, you got family, and you got the entire holiday season coming up ahead. And back when bowl season used to mean more, that was also something that excited me as well. But this is going to be what I expect to be my final thoughts on Nebraska's head coaching search. Now, why would that be? When are we going to hear something? When are we going to know something? Well, nobody truly knows. But the general consensus, and something that makes sense to me, is we're probably going to hear something, well, immediately after the Iowa game ends. I mean, be on high alert, ladies and gentlemen, boom, boom. But probably Saturday, the day after Iowa. Now, what if the individual that we're hiring, and keep in mind, Mickey Joseph, I guess, is still on the docket, but he has mentioned that he has not talked to Trev about this, being the head coach in Nebraska. He's not been interviewed, so on and so forth, so I'm kind of taking Mickey out of this conversation. If that changes, that'd be phenomenal. I think it'd be a great potential option. Now, what if the guy that we hire, assuming it's an outside hire, is coaching in a conference championship game? I know for a fact, and rightfully so, Scott Frost was pissed that the news was leaked before. If you remember, UCF was playing Memphis in that AAC Conference Championship game. Across the bottom of the ESPN ticker, it was announced in the fourth quarter of that game that Scott Frost was the next head coach here at the University of Nebraska. And one of the first questions he was asked after they won their AAC Conference Championship game, completed undefeated regular season, was about him being the next head coach of the University of Nebraska. He was pissed about that, and rightfully so. And I think they want to voice something like that if our next head coach is going to be coaching a conference championship game a week from this Saturday, or the weekend following Thanksgiving weekend. So it could be, potentially, depending on who it is, maybe after the conference championship games. Aside from that, probably, hey, once Saturday hits here, after Black Friday, watch out, folks. Here we come. At some point, anything could happen. Who knows? And it's going to be exciting and fun. I'm enjoying this process. I know it's very stressful for some people. For me, I'm personally enjoying it. Now, it could get leaked. It could get leaked between now and Friday. It could get leaked if our next coach is coaching the conference championship game. It could get leaked next week. But I think the odds of that aren't great. I think Trev has the athletic department, I don't want to say locked down because that comes across poorly, but like he's in firm control. The fact that so little has been said, and it's all just barbershop janitor type talk, I think is a great indicator and a great side of the job that Trev has done at that athletic department. I saw him at the walkthrough last Friday. We chatted. He met the family. Okay. I didn't bring it up to him. I can only imagine how many times he gets asked about that. My thought process was, you know what? He's got my number. If he wants to tell me something, he will. But I'm not going to bring it up to him. Okay? I'm going to let this bad boy unfold. And we chatted about just about everything else. Like I said, he met the family, got some photos. It was pretty cool. So, here are my thoughts. Now, Sam McEwen has a list, how 8 coaching names fit Nebraska's big picture after another gut punch. This was right after the Wisconsin game. Here's some of the names he has on there. There's still a plethora of names out there as far as possibilities. It's amazing at this point. All right, number 1, Matt Campbell. Number 2, Dave Doran, the NC State coach. Number 3, Luke Fickell, the Cincinnati coach. Number 4, Mickey Joseph. Okay, number 5, Chris Kleiman, Lance Leipold. Now, this is a guy who has a history with Nebraska. Okay, maybe a history with Trev Alberts. I don't know if that's good or bad. I didn't really dive into it too much, but he won 6 Division III national championships. Okay, he turned around a god-awful Buffalo team into be really freaking good when he left. Same thing with Kansas. They're in year 2, and before their starting quarterback got hurt earlier this year, that offense was fun to watch. The job he has done at probably what was the worst Power 5 team in the country at Kansas in year 2, it didn't take 5 to 50 like we've been told in the past, has been amazing. Okay, then you've got Jeff Monken, the Army coach. Want to bring the option back, he'll do it. Matt Rule. Okay, Matt Rule, week 3.0 or week 30 is what it would be if his name got brought up again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it very well could be somebody that hasn't been talked about much. I have thrown Jamie Chadwell's name out there. I don't think it's a likely candidate. It is someone I do think would do a good job. I'm not going to go into depth on him. I've talked about him in the past. Check out my previous videos. Urban Meyer. On my Carriker live show on Sunday night, I did polls. All right, would you rather have this coach or this coach? Like, I am. I'm just having fun with this. There is information. There is things that are being said. There's things I'm paying attention to. There's things I'm ignoring. But I'm having fun with this process. So I did a poll. Would you rather have this coach or this coach with the fans? And the fans responded to this coach or this coach or this coach or this coach. Urban Meyer beat Every coach I put him up head-to-head against, except one. Excuse me. And that one coach was Lane Kiffin. Now, I'm going to come back to Lane Kiffin here in a minute. I think fans are just ready to win, and they're ready to win. Urban could be the guy that gets it turned around. There are risks involved with that, and I think the fans are ready to take the risks as an overall whole because he can get us turned around. I think also a guy named Mickey Joseph waiting in the wings. If 3 to 4 years down the road we need someone else to step up, Mickey's right there because he has said he would love to stay. Wants to talk with the next coach, but would love to stay. Okay, so Urban Meyer, all right, even with all the concerns, is a very intriguing name, interesting name. Dave Aranda, okay, these are names that were not on Sam's list, a list of 8 names. Jamie Chadwell, Urban Meyer, okay, Dave Aranda, and I'm going to be honest with you. So there's an individual who edits all my shows. We just call him Z for short. He does a great job. In fact, let's give Z some love. Smash that like button if you want to say thank you to Z for the phenomenal job he does editing these videos all the time. But I talked with Z last week, and he looked at me and he said, I think Dave Aranda would be a home run hire. Now, it didn't really dawn on me until later in the day. I was like, wow, home run hire. Not great, not really good. Home run. I was like, all right. So I sent Z a text. And Z, you can take this out or you can leave this in the show. I'll leave it completely up to you. I don't know if you want this shared. I didn't ask you, but you're editing the video, so it's your call. I said, in my text to Z, I said, so yesterday you said Dave Aranda would be a home run hire. What makes you say that? He responded. He said he's extremely calm but intense. Person that would handle the fan and media pressure really well at Nebraska. One of the best defensive minds in the college game. And let's be honest, you can recruit to Lincoln a hell of a lot easier than you can to Waco, Texas. So there's Dave Aranda. Okay, Mark Stoops, although he did sign an extension through 2030 at Kentucky. Okay, let's talk about this guy, Lane Kiffin, because he won the poll. He was the only guy that beat out Urban Meyer in my poll on my Sunday night Carriker live show. Okay, Lane Kiffin, if you didn't know, born in Lincoln, Nebraska. His dad, Monty Kiffin, coached at Nebraska. Monty's from Lexington, Nebraska. He played offensive and defensive tackle at Nebraska from 1959 to 1963. This is Monty I'm talking about. Okay, now he was on the staff, the defensive staff, that started the Nebraska Black Shirts. And he told me all about that at the Senior Bowl. The 2007 Senior Bowl, the Tampa Bay Bucks coaching staff was there. John Gruden, Monty Kiffin, they coached my North team. We dominated the South. I think it was like 1,000,000-0. Seriously, they barely got to midfield. But I got to know Monty. I got to know John. That was fun. But he was an assistant coach on the 1970-71 national title teams. Okay, on the defense for Nebraska. And then he became the defensive coordinator and head coach Tom Osborne from 1974 to 1977. Now, coming back to Lane. He was the Raiders head coach in 2007. At that point in time, youngest head coach in NFL history. Now, Sean McVay, when he went to the Rams, he became the youngest head coach in NFL history at that point. Now, if Lane were to come here, I would not want the Tennessee or USC version of Lane. All right, I don't bring up the Raiders because I don't equate NFL success or failure to college head coaching success or failure. Look at Urban Meyer. Look at the difference between his NFL lack of success and his college success. Look at Nick Saban. He was not liked at the Dolphins very well. He's done great at Alabama. I've talked about that before. But Lane Kiffin went to the Nick Saban Rehabilitation Center. Okay, the post-Nick Saban Rehabilitation Camp for Coaches version of Lane Kiffin. That's what I want. He did a great job at Florida Atlantic. He's doing really well at Ole Miss. Saturday was not great for them against Arkansas if you watch that game, but that happens. It has been rumored that he's number 1 on Auburn's head coaching search list. And does Lane want to leave Ole Miss? Does he want to leave the SEC? Would Auburn be more intriguing? All great questions. Now, Lane has expressed frustrations with Ole Miss fans. Okay. A lack of expectations where he wants them to be at Ole Miss. Okay. And he would like more support in certain things. Now, I do think he would make Husker football fun again. Dare I say cool. Now, I don't care about flashy. I've talked about that before. I don't care if you're flashy. I don't care if you're boring. I don't give a crap. What I care about is, are you going to win football games? That is what matters to me. If you're going to come here and win football games, you're now flashy in my eyes, whether you were flashy before or not. It's all that matters to me. If you win, you're going to be the coolest guy under God's hot sun. Now, he can recruit. Again, I talked about this with Dion, but imagine Lane and Mickey and Bill Bush on the recruiting trail. That'd be pretty cool. Okay. Some consider maybe an offensive genius to a certain degree when it comes to X's and O's. Okay? Now, my questions about Lane, because there's tons of positives. Is he fully football rehabilitated? Now, if you do count the NFL stop with the Raiders, he had 3 stops that didn't go very well at all. If you just count USC and Tennessee, he had 2. And he's never quite had top-level success as a head coach. He's still a very, very young guy. Okay, it took Osborne a long time, as we all know it. Okay, over 20 years to get that first top-level success he was working for. Let me know. Would Lane Kiffin be someone that you'd be interested in? He seems to be popular with fans anytime I talk to somebody. Next up, and the last guy I'm going to talk about here, is Luke Fickell. And I'm talking about these two because I hadn't really talked about either one of them much. I didn't realize how popular Lane was. Okay, now how realistic is he? I don't know. Let me know that in the comments below. Luke Fickell, he's been brought back up to me recently after I hadn't heard much in like 6 weeks. Now, he was probably my favorite right out the gate. As soon as Frost was fired and we're like, who should we be looking for? The 2 names in my mind at the time were Mickey Joseph and Luke Fickell. In-house, one out of the house, so to speak. I almost said outhouse. But you get my point. Now, I quit talking about him because I was told from several people he doesn't want to leave Cincinnati. He's turned down big-time jobs before. I've also been told, and I've learned a few things, that Trev Alberts, when he wants something or someone, is relentless and can be quite convincing. Now, does that have anything to do with Luke Fickell? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But he's definitely a guy that if he's not on the top of my list, he'd be at the top, towards the top of my list of guys that would excite me a lot. He played in the Big Ten with Ohio State. Okay, he was a defensive coordinator at Ohio State. On 2 national championship staffs at Ohio State as an assistant in 2002 and as one of the defensive coordinators in 2014. He spent pretty much a whole year as an interim head coach after Jim Tressel resigned. Okay, then he became Cincinnati's head coach. Now, Cincinnati was originally built up by Brian Kelly, who's now at LSU. But the year before Luke Fickell got there, they weren't so hot. Okay, they only had 4 wins. Now, in the 5 seasons since Luke has taken over, okay, you look at the last 4, I should say. He's been there for 5. Look at the last 4. 3 of them, he's won a minimum of 11 games. And the only one he didn't win 11 games was COVID. They went 9-1. They only played 10 games. Okay. Now, last year, they made the college football playoff. All right. First ever non-Power 5 team to do so. But this year, the job he's doing could be even more impressive. They lost a bunch of top draft picks. Sauce Gardner, as a rookie, this is unheard of. He's the #1 overall graded DB in the entire NFL. Okay? They lost Desmond Ridder, their starting quarterback, 2nd-round draft pick. They're in line. They're 9-2. They're ranked again. And they're in line to win another AAC championship. I could argue it's even more impressive what he's done this year. Okay? He has 9 different Coach of the Year awards, whether they be national, conference, or otherwise. And he also won the Assistant Coach of the Year award as well. To put a button on this, he's a great defensive mind. He knows how to win in the Big Ten. He built Cincinnati back up, okay, in Ohio State's backyard. Okay? Some people view him as similar to Urban Meyer, maybe just younger. Okay, hasn't quite had the success, but he's younger, maybe less risk, less potential risk as well. Now, he has turned down multiple job offers from big schools before. So does he want to leave? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Would Luke Fickell be interesting, a good coach? Would he be, is he even possible? Same thing with Lane Kiffin. Anybody I mentioned? Who have I not mentioned? Who have I not talked about? Let me know your thoughts in general, and I want to have some fun. Let me know in the comments below. Who will be our next head coach here at the University of Nebraska? Just type a name. You can elaborate if you want, of course, or just simply type a name. Let's have fun. Let's have fun. I want to do a poll in the comments below this show, just by using the comments. Okay, now some people are kind of freaking out about this whole process. I'm having fun. Are you nervous about who our next head coach is going to be? Or are you just going to enjoy the process of finding our next head coach? Until next time, Husker Nation, go big red, and always remember, go the Bugs. This show is brought to you by XCancer. Join the fight at XCancerStore.com and support your loved ones, your neighbors, and cancer fighters all over the world and help them gain access to revolutionary treatments. XCancerStore.com has a wide variety of t-shirts and merchandise supporting a wide variety of cancer battles so you can show off the colors that matter. Proceeds from each purchase not only help those at home, but also cancer fighters in Tanzania, Africa. Check them out at XCancerStore.com.